Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to New Life Live. Really glad you're with us today. Becky Brown is right here, and Dr. Jill Hubbard on a Friday afternoon. Hi, Jill.
Hello, everybody.
It's Finding Freedom Eve.
Yes.
It is, and we want you to come and join us tomorrow. If you have this little nagging thing where you're going like, okay, I don't know what's wrong, but something is, we could help you. I really believe that, but you'd have to come and let us work with you. 1-800-NEW-LIFE, find out about it. It is accessible, and it is powerful and meaningful, and I'm just ready to go to a phone call. Jill, why don't you pick who you'd like for us to talk with first?
Drum roll.
Okay. You know, it's hard for me to see the board, Steve.
Is it? Well, it was impossible for me. Mine fell apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. There's Bill
or Terry
up there.
Could pick. Hey, let's go to Bill. Bill, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I had a question. I heard the gentleman came on before and had been married 41 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he had mentioned some of the things that he had been trying to do, and some of my hesitation in calling is, it always appeared that the man is more wrong than the women are wrong, and I think it was you that gave a balance. And I know they don't hear that. I've been married 50 years, and then my wife decided she left. I've served my country 20 years. Actually 42 years, 20 in uniform.
That's amazing.
So when I try to explain myself, she always, I don't want to hear it after she explained herself. And then my response is, well, that's not fair. You explain what you want to say, then you walk away. And it leaves me angry. And I'm an African-American man. I didn't have all the tools that maybe some other men had who weren't African-American growing up. And so I learned the best way that I knew how. My parents were sharecroppers. And so we learned how to do, and my dad was World War II. I'm a Vietnam veteran, experience. So 20 years in that, and still serving my country now as working with the veterans. So I don't get it a lot. When is there a balance? When is there? Well, all men are not what women say that we are.
Well, you did hear, and you're talking about it, you did hear me giving the other side of that, right?
I did it. It's rare. I don't hear that as much. That's why I call.
I think, and just think about this. Many times us men can be such big targets, that the people miss that even though we're big targets, that doesn't mean everybody. You can't judge everybody like that. And by the same token, if you're in a relationship, let's say the other person is 70% of the problem, you still got 30% over here that you have to deal with.
Well,
and so there is a balance, and I really appreciate you. And I knew we were out there, us men, that we don't like it when it's just assumed that we're the problem and this other person is reacting to how bad of a problem we are. It just, so.
Well, and I hope Bill, that we do not, we're no respecter of, it's like, it's not always one or the other.
We hate everybody?
Well,
we don't. We really don't.
Women are just more vocal, you guys, so that's why it seems disproportionate, right?
Yeah.
And I always say that there are good men out there, right? We don't want to do the broad brush and paint all men that way.
And it's quite a balance. I want to say, first of all, Bill, I'm so sorry because you have done a lot and you've given a lot, and it's grief that you're experiencing now because you're still wondering how could it be any different, and we want different.
We do. We sure do. We'll be back.
After I found the pornography on the internet, I said you either get help or I have to leave this household.
Every day, thousands of women discover their husband is struggling with sexual integrity. And since shelter-in-place orders have gone into effect, traffic to porn sites has skyrocketed. New Life's Every Man's Battle workshop can help.
I believed that I could do it on my own. I just believed if I tried hard enough and pulled myself up hard enough by my bootstraps, I could do it. It was a battle that I'd had all my life. I had to get help.
The Every Man's Battle workshop can be a trip to the sexual addiction emergency room. During this time of social distancing, the Every Man's Battle workshop will be held online Saturday, June 27th. Find sexual integrity, accountability, and connection. Register now to reserve a place at the Every Man's Battle online workshop. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
The single most helpful thing was to realize that I wasn't the weirdest guy on the planet.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEWLIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. Really glad to have Becky Brown here in the studio on a Friday. Going to do Finding Freedom tomorrow. You can find it. You can be free. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Let's go to Steve from, where is that he's from? He's from California. Pico Rivera. Hi there, Steve. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Excellent. What's going on?
Everything. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I am ready.
Okay, that's a good song, too. I was dating, or I'm still dating a gal, but I haven't made too much contact with her lately, only because I have a concern, and my concern I'm going to share with you is she is I'm going to say social worker, could be a marriage and family counselor. I know she does have her master's, but she mostly deals with special needs kids. But anyway, she gave me a couple of books to read. One I know specifically about knowing your purpose, and that pastor from Orange County is the one who wrote it.
The purpose-driven life.
The purpose-driven life.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that was the one she gave me, and I understand, pretty much Christianity, been a Christian for several years, but nonetheless, the book that I'm more concerned about is I'm looking for your opinion on summary thoughts on the book called Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus.
Why? Why is that?
Because I don't know if the author has any kind of reference to male or females, if they're different, only because I know that God made them different. I know there are circumstances throughout people's lives that pretty much constructs how they approach things or have opinion of things. Culture, income, divorce situation at home, education, surrounding friends. That, to me, many times will create or construct a person's opinion and how they live their life. Mm-hmm. But this particular book, I gather, I haven't read it, I've heard of it, is probably, I'm thinking, is more definitive, may address absolutes of how men do this all the time and how women do this all the time.
So you want to know if we think it's a good book or worth your reading?
Yeah, worth your reading from a Christian perspective.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my most objective opinion, because you asked it, and I have a commitment to being honest. And being honest means that I don't not say stuff just so you'll like me or whatever, because But here's what I would say to you. I wouldn't waste my time on that book, because here's the bottom line. I'm going to send you a book that's going to give you so much more insight into yourself and all other men and women. It's just more important, and it's how we love. And so we all know that men and women are different. We react in different ways. I don't think you need to read a book to know, unless you've been shuttered all your life and haven't noticed that women are different than you. You know that. All right. So a lot of times, people can make a lot of money of telling you stuff that you already know. For instance, I was talking to a guy who you give them all this information, and then they give you a profile back based on all the stuff you just told them. Well, you just told them that. I mean, anyway. So here's the deal. I'm going to send you How We Love, because How We Love talks about how different people. You could be a man or a woman and be a pleaser. You could be a man or a woman who is a pleaser married to a controller, or to somebody who vacillates from everything's great to everything's horrible. So that's the book I would say to spend your time on. I would, head and shoulders, I have no reservation about that book. It is written by two very committed, dedicated Christians. And I would even say, if you could, join us for the How We Love weekend with your girlfriend, because you can do that. You can't when we do the in-person thing, because we don't want people staying in a hotel room together that aren't married. But anyway, you could do it online. But that's where I'm going to lead you. It's just a better way, better use of your time, and you'll come to understand the nuances of who your girlfriend is so much better than the other book.
But Steve, I would also want to ask her what she hopes that you would get from this book. What is she wanting you to see that she thinks that you need some educating about? Right? Because she's asked you to read this. I don't think you have to read it. I think Steve's suggestion is much better, but I think you want to at least acknowledge and honor the fact that she has asked this of you, and maybe get a little more understanding of that. And you can also read like a summary of it, right? And get the synopsis, and then say, but would you be willing to read this book with me? And offer her that. Have you heard of this book? Because I know this book comes from a Christian perspective. And I've heard that it, is really helpful. Maybe this is something we could also look at. And you add that in, because I think it gets to the heart of what Steve was saying, is that, closer to you guys really understanding each other.
So I have a question that has nothing to do with books.
All right.
So Steve, how long have you guys been dating? And I mean, are you feeling like this is going to go somewhere permanently, or
Right now, while we speak, the answer is no to that.
Okay.
When I first had met her, I saw there was potential there, at least in my opinion. Ironically, we were raised like maybe 2 blocks from each other when we were kids, but never made any contact. She went to Catholic school and I went to public school, but nonetheless, it was approximate radius, maybe less than a half mile. But anyhow, my point being is that I saw potential there. I enjoyed her company. Boy, she talks a lot, but women normally do, for that matter.
That may be the reason why she wants you to read that book.
Maybe so I could understand. But nonetheless, I'm sharing this because I've listened to you guys for many moons, and I understand Jill's sensitivity to some men when they call. And normally that's a different opinion than Steve's or Mylan's, which is okay. But I could see the way Jill approaches certain things versus how Mylan or Steve or somebody else does. Even though you're talking to the same individual, your perception is a little bit different, which to me makes a lot of difference. And that's why I'm looking for a woman's point of view on what I'm thinking this gal is having me read this book. And of course, most people, when you're in a relationship, you're always at least making every attempt to satisfy the other person one way or another. But at the same time, you're also sensitive to think, is this person trying to change me? Is there a reason they're trying to? If so, maybe they've had bad luck with a person that's got my personality, so now they want to turn me into somebody else. So those are my thoughts. That's the reason why I called.
Well, I'm glad you did, and I hope we've said something that you can relate to there that's valuable to you. And I'll send you How We Love, as I said, okay? So I hope that will be a blessing to you. And anybody else, you can get How We Love. It's pretty simple. Just call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Well, I'll just mention this. One of the authors is Kay, and she's a female. And we talk a lot about the stereotypes of men and women, and we say, men are kind of avoiders, and well, that's who Kay is. She talks about she
A
kinda-
recovered avoider.
Yeah, a recovering avoider.
Right.
But so, it's just so much more insightful because she traces it back, even shows pictures of her as a child.
One of the best. I love that book because, well, we've seen it so many times in our marriage workshop, but I think what you said before, Steve, is that you have to learn about yourself before you can really connect with somebody else. And it's amazing what we see when people go, oh my gosh, that's totally us. That's, I'm the pleaser, you're the controller. This is the cycle that we're in all the time. And then they give you step by step of how to break that. And, that would be a great dating book, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yes, it
That's a
would.
great parenting book and everything.
I do think, generally understanding the differences. I mean, most people, we know that there's differences, Steve, like you were saying, but also understanding why women do things a certain way versus why men do things a certain way. I think there's some of that is helpful. And I tend to like the Shanti Feldman books. So there's one for men only.
Yeah, that's a little more current, I think, too.
Yeah. So that
Well, I'm
might
glad
be.
you called. And I hope that was helpful. And so.
And good luck on that new relationship, whether it's this one or another one.
Okay. Well, Jill, I'm going to let you pick another person for us to talk
Or
to.
Terry.
You did a great, or Terry, just pick it and tell us who it is, and we'll go from there.
That's right.
Okay. Let's go with Rose.
Rose, how are you today?
Yay, I won.
Yay!
All I can see are the names, Rose, so I got it.
Well, so how can we help today, Rose?
Well, I feel like you are all my family. I know you guys much better than you do me at this moment. I am a mother of 3 children, and I have a 36-year-old daughter that has a little 5-year-old girl, was married, and her husband left her when she was 8 months pregnant, and then she met another guy a couple, maybe 2.5 years ago, whatever now, and they married in February 1 year ago, and he has had injuries in the Middle East and PTSD, and they've had issues and a blended family. He has 2 children. She has her daughter, and they have had several different situations where he's just said, I can't do this, I want you to leave. And she left, went back twice. And this time, a week ago, she left when he insisted that she leave after she found out he had had an affair. And this is all very fresh. And I need to know what my part is in helping her. She's staying with me right now, and there's a lot of dialogue. He writes to her and begs her back and things like that.
So he had the affair, and then she brings it up, and then she left, or he made her
went
leave.
back home.
No,
She went back home. Yeah. She just decided to go back home.
It was a week before that they had had some problems, and what happens is he has some issues and goes very dark and into depression and things. And there's a lot of issues such as not following through with his.
Yeah.
He's supposed to go to counseling. She finds out later he hasn't gone.
Yeah.
or
Okay.
he's
So what's
forgotten to take his
the
meds.
big question for us then?
My question is, how do I help and guide my daughter and handle this from my perspective as a mom?
Just to start, I would say that helping her has nothing to do with him at this point, because we don't know whether or not he's ever going to get his act together. So you want to help her heal. And so if not, then you end up with someone who's been so abused, and then they start to blame themselves. There's regret. They want to redo, and then he gets some idea it might work. So you really want to help her heal so that if he did get some help, she'd be able to discern if it was real or not. But what do you guys think?
First off, Rose, were you going to say something? Okay.
I was just going to say that she has made this is the first time she said, I cannot, even though she says she loves him and I believe her, and she wants him to have certain steps, like, I think they call it a separation for the purpose of uniting, some counselors do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
right.
she wants him to go through things. And he said he's demanding that she come home or he'll not do anything.
Well, see, there's a great indicator of how unaware or uncaring
Or unready.
or
Yeah,
unready.
he is.
Because what you'd want is he would feel so bad for what he did. He would say, I will do anything that you think would be helpful. And after I do that and you see the results, I hope you'll come back and be with me. Totally different perspective.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Shelly Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, a physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is being held online Saturday, June 20th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the Transformation Welcome Gift, which includes a personal-sized Life Recovery Bible, a Life Recovery Journal, and 5 Life Recovery Workbooks. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops.
I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's been immensely helpful to me. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. You've already been here, Rose. A lot of times at the breaks we talk about what we did last night and what we had for dinner, but we talked about this, and I tell you, here's something I hope you appreciate.
We did not talk about dinner.
No, but I think this is so important for Rose to hear.
So, Rose, your daughter's had...
She knows I'm...
Go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay. Well, so it sounds like there's been this is a repeated cycle, and she's got some good insight now.
Ongoing.
Yeah. And so she's got some insight, but here's the thing. First of all, there was a trauma with the father of her child leaving, and then began this really intense relationship. And this man has a lot of stuff that he hasn't dealt with. This is all obvious, right? But the hard part, though, Rose, is that you're going to be supportive and all those things, but you also have to be prepared for the fact that she may go back. Now, it seems so irrational, but I'm sure you've been in that dance, right? Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think the message that your daughter has to hear is, I love you, whatever your choices are, but I really am scared if we don't pump the brakes, if we don't stick to the plan. And she needs some really good support around her as she makes these different choices, because he's going to stomp harder, and we love men. So let's, there's been this theme of us beating up on men,
I've
but
heard the last one, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But we love him, but we also know that he's got some really hard things that he's got to heal. and we're appreciative of his service. But here's the thing. We all have work to do in this situation. And it could be a really great blended family if he does the work, because all these children, his kids, her kids, you, all these people that are around are affected by all of this pain that just keeps reverberating.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So no matter where we've been or what we've done, if there's no willingness, then we're nowhere. Jill, what are your thoughts?
Well,
here?
so Rose, I want to preface, and you're probably already doing this. You do, because you said, how do I help my daughter? You do a lot of listening, and you don't try to be farther down the road than she is. So you try to hear where she's at and let her be where she's at. Because with people we love, we want them to hurry up and get better. But they can't hurry up and get better unless they go through all that they need to go through. But you help her to articulate, and so that she can feel strong and confident in the changes she's trying to make, because this is new. But at some point, I mean, it sounds like she's maybe kicking in a little bit more to know if she does the same thing, she's not going to get a different result, right?
All right.
He knows it.
I'm really glad you called for her, but let me tell you this. You could jump start, you could drop kick, whatever you call it, if she would go to Restore. And if you could help her into that event, that could be, and it's next week, so next Saturday, that would really help her be able to come out of this with a little bit more objective. Because when someone has been betrayed, and then the response to that is, I love him. I just want to stop right there and go, why is that your response? It's not, I'm so angry, I'm so hurt, I'm so, but it's, I love him. It's almost like the go-to of not having to do anything I don't want to do. I love him, so I'm just going to let things stay the same. It's kind of like an excuse. Whenever you see me do from here on out, please understand, I love him. But really, you got to love yourself, and you've got to take care of yourself. Otherwise, what you're really saying is, I desperate him. I'm just
and she has, like I mentioned before, the father of her child also left her.
Yeah,
so there's this
horribly
trauma,
abandoning.
this compounding pain that she's experiencing. And if she would go to Restore, she'd find great tools, but also a collective group of women who would be able to speak the language that she's experiencing, like you're talking about, Steve, and that be seen in a way that feels supportive as she takes these steps towards growth. And that's what we want. We want everybody to work towards that freedom, that wholeness in their life, not just holding their breath.
All right. Okay, Rose, I'm going to send you a copy of Worthy of Her Trust for your daughter to read, and it's kind of like a level of acceptability that hopefully he would be able to live up to. Let's go to Linda, Indianapolis, Indiana, and listens on internet. Hi, Linda. How are you today?
Hi, I'm so excited to talk to you guys.
We're excited to talk to you.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to try to get right to my question because I can get all over the place, and I don't want to do that. I have been estranged from my sister for several years. I hate to, you're not supposed to label people, I know, but she had narcissistic tendencies and a lot of raging, and it's just a lot of craziness. There's so many stories. I'm not going to go into all those, but I read Boundaries and The Emotionally Destructive Relationship, and those books changed my life. So,
well, then why are you calling us? If those took care of it, what's okay?
I've done a lot of healing, but I do have a question.
Okay.
It's been many years, and do I still send? For a long time, I sent birthday cards and pictures of the family, and do I still do it? When can I stop doing it? I mean,
great question.
I don't know what.
Do you want to send them?
Well, sometimes I do, but it's been so long now that I just think I never get a response. I send
You're just
text.
not going to you won't believe the answer I'm going to give you when we come back. You just won't even believe it. It's going to be radical, earth-shattering answer, okay? All right, so we'll do that right after this.
of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEWLIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, and Linda, here's the radical advice I've got for you. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. If you have a picture, and you're thinking, I want to send this to her, send it. If you have a picture and you think, I'm not going to send it because she doesn't even care, don't send it. But I'm going to encourage you to not spend more than 5 seconds on whether or not you're going to send the picture or send the birthday card or whatever. Because nothing you do is going to change anything in her. So quit obsessing over the unchangeable tragedy that's in your family. Come to a point of acceptance and live your life the way you want to live it. And when it comes to pictures and cards and stuff, do what you want to do. Do what you feel like doing.
Yeah, don't be burdened by it, right?
Yeah,
don't be locked into the obligation.
That's the answer right there.
And the ritual.
Don't be burdened by it.
So perfect.
I love that you.
Right.
I love that you said that. I love that. Well, but Linda, you had this gasp when he said that.
Yeah.
It was like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know there's so many people that are listening. Go ahead, Linda.
I mean, it's just what I need to hear. I mean, it's perfect. This is what I'm saying.
Well, I think Jill's given you the perfect self-talk phrase of, I will not be burdened over whether or not I'm going to send this card or this picture. You know, I'm just going to do it one way or the other.
Yeah, just be spontaneous about it.
Pray.
Right? Because, Steve, you're right. It won't change anything.
And if she ever calls you, just be open and loving, but not susceptible to anything. You had one more thing you wanted to ask?
Yeah, just real quick. I wanted to ask, because it used to be really a meshed, if I use that word, relationship, and we did everything together, and everybody, but on the people didn't see behind the scenes the rage and all the craziness. So, how do I know I can't go into everything when people ask me, what happened? You and your sister was, I don't know how to. I can't explain it.
Well,
it's just hard to explain to people.
I unfortunately had that same experience in my own family, my sister-in-law, and I've had those. And we even have people who will be, trying to tell you what the other person's doing, and and it's just a matter of, yes, I know it's very uncomfortable, especially because it's family, right? And you
I
don't
want to talk bad about her.
Exactly, because that says more about you, Linda, than it does about her.
Right.
And you could probably give all the reasons to support your claim.
And I don't want to do that.
Exactly, and it's actually another burden to deal with. So a good phrase that I've used is, when people ask about, my family member, I'll just go, I haven't heard lately. And so it's just a non-answer. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to go into all the little personal things that those people really don't care to begin with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just kind of, it's a settling down. And I would say, Linda, you've got some grieving in the loss of that.
Yeah.
That will settle that down to where, you just can see those people, they ask you the question and you're like, well, I don't really know about that,
Mm-hmm. And just another way to approach that, and now that we know that Becky's sister-in-law doesn't listen to the program, but you could just.
But boy, should she!
Which is why I'm keeping my mouth shut about family members.
You could say, we were really close and realized maybe a little too close, and so now there's a little more distance. I think it's healthy, and I think that's a total accurate explanation that might not cause a second. And if there is a second question, you can just say, I think that pretty much I've said it all there, because that is what happens. We have to unmess the enmeshed.
Yes.
That's what we do,
Yeah.
and separation might not look good to other
Get
folks.
untangled.
But anyway, Linda, thank you for calling. I'm going to send you How We Love. And before we go to the next caller, I'm going to talk to Larry Sonnenberg, who's in the studio. Hey, Larry, how are you today?
Steve, doing good, thanks. Doing good.
It's a Friday, and I know you always love Friday because you don't have to talk to me on Saturday. So what? We're
Saturday.
This Saturday we're going to do Finding
exactly.
Freedom, and we will be together a little bit there. But let's ask folks to support us, and we really do need help right now.
Support us because these workshops that we're doing online really work. And there's a testimony here. Last person that went to Take Your Life Back, I went to Finding Freedom. And if you have not registered, if you're right on the edge of getting in on time, but let me read this. I'm leaving this workshop knowing I'm okay, knowing I'm on the right path, and I have the strength to face the future. What I saw and experienced at this workshop took years in Celebrate Recovery. If you have an emptiness inside of you you cannot fix, if you continue to be stuck in your struggles, find yourself in a reactive mode, acting out in anger, or internalizing the bitterness, this workshop's for you. New Life's a model of God's plan for healing and growth. So folks, if you want to be a part of sustaining and growing and helping people experience that healing and growth, please continue to give. We want to wrap up this matching gift. We're getting closer every day. It's growing, but we still got $100,000 or more to go, and we need your help. And I'm not sure what else to say other than thank you.
Well, we're just grateful for everybody that does, and when you become a part of the giving family, whether it's Club New Life or just a one-time gift, we're going to thank you in a generous way. And I hope and pray that from then on, you really do feel like you're part of every transformation that occurs here. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That is the phone number to call. 1-800-NEWLIFE. Let's go to Marie, Sacramento, California. Well, she listens and watches on the New Life app. Anybody else could do that also. Hi there. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's going on?
I've been married for 30 years. I'm a believer and my husband's not. I am really struggling with some anger outbursts. My husband stepped out, committed adultery 10 years ago, and I kind of feel like I have forgave too quickly. And what I mean by that is that as a Christian, you're like, okay, they come to you, they ask for forgiveness, and they say they're sorry, and I did. Well, then, day after counseling, he went out and did the same thing again. And so I just said, that's it, done, not doing it anymore.
You know what? He didn't really ask for forgiveness, did he? What he asked for was excuseness. See, because
right.
I think if he had said, if he wanted forgiveness, he might have said this: what could I do to make this right so that you could fully forgive me? Then you could have said, if you would get into a men's Bible study, or if you would go to Every Man's Battle, or if you would go see a counselor that's a man that could help you with what led to this, I'll begin the forgiveness process. And I will forgive you. But I'm not going to excuse this. And I'm not going to take an I'm sorry as a sincere desire to repair our relationship. Very different.
Right. He just wanted it absolved. And Marie, in the shock of hearing that, you know, you're not unlike so many women who just want it to quickly go away because it feels so horrible. But now you're in...
Exactly what...
Go ahead.
Exactly what you're saying is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
It's not that I wanted it to go away. I didn't know the steps exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't... Just listening, I feel like I didn't go through all the steps needed to have successful results.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that I really gave him a consequence, and what you're saying right now shows me that I didn't. But now how do I go back? Because we're still living under the same roof. We're still communicating. My husband is not a believer. He's in law enforcement, has been in for over 30 or 40 years. So right now there's, as you know, what's going on in our world, there's just so much destruction and disaster, and he's amped always at 100%. And
so Marie,
Marie,
you said before how angry you have been.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you've been angry, because of looking back. There are steps forward, and there is healing that's possible. It's not easy, but it is one step at a time. And just that recognition, you had said, I did what the Bible said, that, you know, we're just to forgive. And I think that gets convoluted sometimes.
You did not.
Right.
I would say you didn't do what the Bible said. I was just looking at the proverb again. When you wink at wrong, you cause trouble. But an open rebuke, in other words, we deal with reality, brings lasting peace. That's also what the Bible says.
Yes.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Shelly Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, a physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is being held online Saturday, June 20th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Marie, Becky's been to Restore. We know it would help.
Yeah, well, you asked for steps, and I think what a difference a day would make. And now that we're doing our online workshops, spending a day at Restore could give you some steps moving forward, however the outcome would be. But we know, you don't want to live with that anger, and you want to have peace in your life. And there's going to be some work that you have to do and work that he'll have to do. But you both are hurting. And you're right. There's a lot of stressors on his life and yours. And we just, we need home to become a safe haven for both of you. And hopefully you can spend 30 years in a good marriage as opposed to what you've been experiencing recently.
Rough.
So call us for a Restore.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Anna, Los Angeles, California, listens on KKLA. Anna, don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to get you to your call before we're finished here today. How could we help?
Yes, good morning. I have two daughters or twins. They just turned 18, and they're just not listening to our rules.
Okay, tell me the last thing that happened. And you're referring to them as a unit here. Are they both doing the same thing?
Yes, because
What are they doing?
One of them it has the diabetes type 1, and so she was very cautious of her sister because she started to drink and smoke and do all that stuff. So she was watching over her, and she she would share all this stuff like she'll never do this, and I said no, don't ever say never. And then sure enough, she has picked up on it little by little. So now she's always been with her, and she's still with her. You don't have to be with her. This is the time now you're going to start separating. Because you don't have to be with her. Let her make her own mistakes.
And so what does she say when you tell her that?
All over the place.
How does she respond when you say those things to her?
She just stays thoughtful, like she's just I guess processing what I'm telling her.
Isn't it amazing how the Bible cautions us about, if you see your brother messing around there, be real careful that you don't fall into the same thing that you're looking at there. Is there a specific question you have for us relating to this?
I've tried I have tried to get them to counseling, but a specific thing, what do I do as a mother? I know I know what to do. I'm a Christian, and I raise them in the Lord and pray, but they don't want anything I've offered them, like take them to help, take my other daughter to Anonymous, and I know I need to seek that so I can go for myself.
Okay, now let me ask you this real quick.
Sure.
What is this drinking like that they're doing? Are they getting drunk, coming home drunk, or what?
Yes.
Are they? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. You don't have to let drunk people live in your house,
Well, there are consequences to behaviors, right? You want to connect with your kids and find out what's going on and what's fueling this, and often they give you really superficial answers like everyone's doing it and it's just fun, right? But there's a shift, and to be able to point out, okay, I've noticed a shift in you, and I want to understand, and let's talk about it, and you tell me. So tell me about why this is so fun for you now, and the person that you're becoming, and help them to kind of play the movie forward a bit. Is their dad involved? Do they have?
We have dad at home, but he works law enforcement, and he's just out all the time.
Okay.
Well, but wouldn't law enforcement? Wouldn't a law enforcing dad be concerned about two 18-year-olds coming home drunk?
Right.
Yes, he is, but they don't listen to him. They don't mind him.
So that's the question I have. This is even greater than the drinking. Is the disrespect and the disconnection of just where their place is in the home.
I hope that they don't tell you if you don't quit griping about their drinking, they're going to make you move out.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
They are in control, and you I really think, as painful and difficult as it is, you have to take back control of your home. And you have to...
You know what they do? They'll slap back at him that he does the drinking. So that's what they're doing right now.
But he's not 18. See, he's not 18. And it's his house.
That to them too.
Yeah. And I wish that they didn't have that as a comeback. But you're going to have to talk with your husband, and you're going to have to decide between the two of you if you can get on the same page of this isn't going well. And what are our options now that it's not going well?
Well, and I wonder, too, if this is happening, Anna, I wonder how much financial support that you guys are providing for them. Everything from cell phones to all the things that,
transportation, money,
all those things. Are they
clothes,
working? Yes. How are we?
No,
a lot of times
they're about to barely making to graduation.
I'm going to tell you something.
Their school's not done. Go ahead.
Becky is so on to something here. I would cancel those phone subscriptions in a heartbeat.
Yep. Direct access to everything.
You have to say, look, either things change within the next 24 hours, or we're not paying for your phone.
Right.
Then after that, we're not going to pay for this or that.
Right. So the basic problem right now, Anna, is they don't have a problem. You and your husband do. And whenever that is upended like that, that's where you've got to create a problem for them, not by telling them you don't need to drink and you shouldn't do that. Literally, it's like, okay, you have 1 week to get a job, and then the cell phone will be your responsibility or it'll be off. Like, there's going to be some boundaries, and I think that's the book we need to send, so that you can create
boundaries with teens.
That too, because it's all disrupted right now, and the kind of coming back and forth.
Even I'm so tired.
I'm sure you are, but
it's exhausting. You need other parent support too. It really helps.
Yeah. So again, here the home run would be really your husband and you agree to go see a therapist, a counselor, Christian counselor, not to work on your own problem, but we're just going to get this assistance here, some coaching from them. What can we agree on? What is reasonable? What do we do when they comply? What do we do when they don't comply? I think that, it just takes it out of you and your husband arguing here. You really, that third party, it could eliminate a lot of friction between the two of you.
And one more thing is that your struggle is not with them right now. It's really within yourself, that you are feeling bad because they won't listen. You're feeling bad because of what they're doing. They're not feeling bad. They're just not. Yeah. So there has to be, you kind of created this environment for them to flourish this way. I hate to say that, Anna, but the challenge going forward is to make it uncomfortable, but in a reasonable way. You can even own, hey, we set you up for this because we allowed this to continue. We're not going to do this anymore.
Yeah. All right. So we'll send boundaries with teens. I wish I had more time, but we're out of time. But I want to encourage everybody, sign up. Finding Freedom. You can still get in there. It's tomorrow. It's a 12-hour, life-changing, transformational experience based on truth. That's what we do around here. If you can help us, it's 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you want to become part of Finding Freedom, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you want to join Restore next week because you've been hurt and it's time for you to do something different rather than just seethe in pain. I know what that's like. You come be part of Restore. Call us 1-800-NEW-LIFE. See you next time. Hope you have a great weekend. Do something great, wonderful, caring, loving for somebody else in this world. See you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you. But you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, Steve Arterburn here. Thanks for watching New Life Live on our New Life YouTube channel. You know, you can see it anytime. Hope you'll subscribe, and when you do, hope you'll turn that little button thing on, the bell, so that whenever we post a new video, it'll ring right through. Now, if you go to newlife.com, you'll see the schedule of when we're in the studio, which is helpful to know if you have a question for the program, or you could go to newlife.com or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You could do this on the app. I mean, there's so many ways that you can stay in touch with us and know when we're there, because we want to answer your questions. So thanks for watching right here on the New Life YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Click here to subscribe.